What is happening at Trump? Why is he having such an epic meltdown? हमने कौन सी उनकी गाय खोल दी है?
So you have to primarily understand why Trump is doing what Trump is doing. Wherever he tried to strike trade deals, चाहे फिर वो चाइना के साथ चल रही थी, चाहे फिर वो यूरोपियन यूनियन के साथ थी, right? चाहे वो टर्की के साथ थी. Whenever the deal was getting stuck somewhere where he was not thinking that it is not favorable for Americans, he would come out with tariffs.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू द पैम्फलेट वॉर रूम। मैं हूं निर्वा मेहता और आज हम बात करेंगे डोनाल्ड ट्रंप एंड हिज टैरिफ मेल्टडाउन पर। और इस पर हमारे साथ बात करेंगे राजा मुनीब। वेलकम बैक टू द पैम्फलेट वॉर रूम मुनीब।
Thank you, Nirwa. Always a pleasure. Good to be here.
Tell us what is happening at Trump. Why is he having such an epic meltdown? हमने कौन सी उनकी गाय खोल दी है?
See, it is not about his epic meltdowns. Trump का जो अगर आप देख रहे हो what he's doing, this is a lot of theatrics he's doing. So you have to primarily understand why Trump is doing what Trump is doing. ठीक है? अगर आप ट्रम्प का बिहेवियर देखोगे wherever he tried to strike trade deals, जब भी इसकी बात, चाहे फिर वो चाइना के साथ चल रही थी, चाहे फिर वो यूरोपियन यूनियन के साथ थी, राइट? चाहे वो टर्की के साथ थी. Whenever the deal was getting stuck somewhere where he was not thinking that it is not favorable for Americans, he would come out with tariffs. If you remember, China pe he went up to 300% tariffs, 250% tariffs, right? And it was going every day.
Right.
Right? So it was like aaj 50, kal 100, parson 150. It was just like he's going like a madman. But the reality you have to understand is, Nirva, that what Trump is trying to do is not for the world to see, but what he's trying to tell is his own core voter base, which is the MAGA base. Right? He's keeping them at rest because his election promise was, jobs for Americans.
Right.
Right. Economy back, make America great again. That is the whole thing. Stopping of wars of America from what he thought that have been unfairly or have been going on for a very long time, and draining American economy. So I think Trump is in a position where he has to do this theatrics, and he has to do it because one of his voter core. Second, Trump has realized that this is the way he's at the end of a businessman, right? This is how he is going to negotiate. This is how he's going to come down. His personal relationship with Prime Minister Modi is still there. Today's Prime Minister Modi has very clearly said that, I'll keep my personal things away, but I'll ensure that India's interest is safeguarded. So that tells you that these two leaders, despite being on good terms, are watching out for their own interest of their own countries.
Which is fair. Absolutely, fair, right? I think. Yeah.
Now, what happens is, on social media, everything blows up to a part where, we start taking pot shots and we make it sound like as if he has lost his mind. He has not lost his mind. He's not gone crazy. He is doing what he knows how to do. This is the way he knows how to negotiate. This is the way he's trying to negotiate. If you look at today morning, Donald Trump was asked a question about how the trade deal with India is going, and you have, done that. He said, "Oh well, it's only been 24 hours, so let's see where it goes."
Right.
So that statement is very important for me. That tells you that whatever he's doing, he is going to, he's knowing what he's doing, and he's doing it because he wants to bring a favorable negotiation for himself. Now, saying that, what he has also done is that आप देखो चाइना के साथ 300% से शुरू हुआ था, कहाँ पर रुका, right? He came down to 50%, right? 30%. With all other countries, he did the same thing. With European Union, he did the same thing. With UK, he did the same thing. He started calling Steimer crazy and all that, went on about grooming gangs and all that. So he's basically putting a lot of pressure on others that America needs the deal favorable to what it is to America and not what it is to the other world, right? क्योंकि अगर आप WTO का structure देखोगे, before that, he wants to dismantle that structure because he believes that it is unfair for US, and he has his own right to do that. But the point is, we see it from very different paradigms. We see him inviting Raja Muneeb for lunch. We think, oh, he's cozying up with the Pakistanis. But tell me, in reality, apart from feeding that man free lunch, what did he give back? He gave nothing to Pakistan. The tariff on Pakistan is 19%. So what Trump is doing here with India is he has a couple of things in mind. We all know that he has been pushing for India to buy the high-tech
Right.
F-35s. The arms deal has to go through. So what is happening with Trump is that he's doing the same what he did with other leaders. He's doing the same what he did with European Union. He's doing the same what he tried to do with UK, what he tried to do with Canada. Right? With Canada, he went very far. He even told them, I won't give you anything, you just merge yourself. Right? So you have seen that extreme pushing of his. And that is not to bully, that is one to bully, yes, it is a technique of bullying, but it is more to show his own voter base that he is a man who's standing strong on his word and who is going to get the deals delivered for America.
So, see, this also reminds me of the general, that is the conversation on social media also, that this feels very paradoxical, that how is it that one is America first is what Trump is talking about. PM Modi has been talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat. How are the two slogans similar yet different?
See, both the slogans are similar in terms of what the respective leaders want to convey to their people. But both are different in interests. And that is where the difference is. So, Atmanirbhar Bharat is Prime Minister Modi's way of saying that India first. Right? Make America Great Again is Trump's way of saying make America great again, or make America first, make it great again. But the point here is, diplomacy and these things don't work on what we call on a win-lose situation or a lose-lose situation. Every country will always watch out for their interest, except countries like Pakistan, where they are client states. So, for them,
personal interest is about nations.
It's about nations, but nations, strong sovereign nations, will always stand for themselves. So, in any of these kind of clashes, or any of these kind of, you can say, breakdowns, or even a freeze in these things, both of them look at their own interests, and both of them look at a win-win situation, what we call, where the Prime Minister Modi can walk away with saying that I got what I wanted. Trump will say that I got what I wanted. So we'll see a lot of that happening. Now his representative Lynch is coming to India on trade talks on 25th of August. So that tells you that this deal is really, really stuck somewhere, where we are not backing out, and the Americans really want us to back out. Now where that deal is stuck, I really don't know at this moment. Right? But this tells you that we have some contentious issues with the Americans, which we are standing on and saying that this cannot happen. So I'm pretty sure, but given the way Trump has behaved till now, I'm pretty sure he's going to come around. All you need to do is just stand your ground. Don't let him bully you, because whoever lets him bully gets bullied. He steamrolls them, and rightly so. He will do
right.
You open the door, he'll get in. You hold the door, he will then start requesting. So that is where the situation is right now.
How do you think that he's a bit perturbed because of the India, Russia, China, the BRICS? He's pretty upset with the BRICS. So
he is upset with BRICS because he sees BRICS as a threat to dollar, right? Because if you see his whole talk and the way, if you remember, our foreign minister Jaishankarji was very clear that we are not among those countries who's talking about de-dollarization. He knows that there is a sort of a talk where the other big economies want to get together, and they want to sideline the American dollar and come up with some other currency for the global thing. So yes, he's definitely worried about BRICS. But it is not only about BRICS, right? It is not only about Russia, China, India, because see, then he needs to behave the same way with everybody, right? 23% of exports of Europe comes from Russia, right? Americans themselves do uranium and other stuff from Russia, right? So
then Donald Trump is not aware of.
No, he is aware of it. He's very aware of it. He just doesn't want to talk about it. He avoided that question. So that tells you that, this whole thing is about one, US. Two, it is about finding the right allies in South Asia. He really wants India to get into where, India is firmly in a block of American bloc. He's trying to redefine that world order where it is, which we saw before Cold War. During the Cold War, where you had two blocks. You either had the Russian bloc or you had the American bloc, right? And then after the collapse of USSR, that thing went away and America was the only single greatest power. Now he's seeing the challenge being mounted by China and by Russia. He still sees Russia as a threat. He still understands that China is a bigger threat. Right now, he understands that this whole blocking, this whole blocks are coming back again, and he wants that India should be firmly in the US bloc. But obviously, we are not going to do that, right? And that is number one. Number two, he is looking at crippling the Russian economy. He knows that the Russian economy is very, very strong. It's still working. Their war machinery is still on. So he will put pressure where he can, you can say corner Russia or bottle them up into something where then he can find for the deal. Third is that he has promised his voters that he's going to find, peace. He couldn't stop the Ukraine war. He has not been able to solve Gaza, right? So he desperately wants to come out as a person who is somebody who is anti-war. And for that, he's very crazy for Nobel Peace Prize, because that validates his promise to the voters, saying that I stopped the wars, that is why I got this Peace Prize. That is what is making him go crazy about it. So that is what is happening there.
Right. Okay, there's another question that is also a lot of chatter on social media, that maybe Trump, the whole standoff India and US is having with regards to the tariffs is, maybe we did something during Operation Sindoor that we are not aware of, and that only probably India, US, and Pakistan are aware of, which is why this whole India has done some major damage, which the world is not aware of. What do you see on that?
Okay, on the major damage thing, look, what did America lose there?
Yeah, something right? There's something America has lost in that Operation Sindoor, which is what a lot of people are speculating.
Yeah, they're speculating a lot of things. They are talking about a lot of conspiracy theories that Americans have a secret nuclear, hidden facility, and India hid that facility. That is absolutely not true. That is not where it went. Indians are also aware of what assets Americans have in Pakistan and what to touch, what not to touch. He's upset about the way we hit their air bases and we damaged their F-16s on the ground. Because, for Americans, it's F-16 they sell as invincible, ki gir hi nahi sakta, isko koi kuch nahi kar sakta, right? But the reality is, when we hit those runways, we have damaged American infrastructure there, which the Americans had given to the Pakistanis and were using for monitoring. So yes, when that happens, he's upset about it. He knows that, this is not the right thing to do. They recently lost F-16s in Ukraine now. A couple of them went down, right? And F-16 went down in Cambodia. Between Cambodia-Thailand war, we saw a Thailand F-16 shot down, right? So Trump is upset about it. And Trump is also upset about the fact that he thinks still that India will only retaliate to an extent where they will not completely cripple Pakistan.
Right.
He doesn't want to feel Pakistan so scared that it goes out of the grip of the Americans.
Right.
The Chinese completely take it over. That is another scary yes. That is why he made that comment saying that Balochistan might, give you oil tomorrow, right? And we know what the American plan in Balochistan is. America wants to take Balochistan away from China. It's very simple. The Americans are not going to let Chinese settle into Balochistan. So that is why Trump is very, very upset, because that is what we have hit. And we have hit American infrastructure. We have hit American planes on the ground. They have some damage on the ground. That is when NOTAMs are being issued on, Yar Rahim Khan Air Base time and again. Shahbaz Air Base time and again. They're issuing notice because they're fixing what had been taken down. So that, and I don't think, it is about Pakistan or what we did in Operation Sindoor. He's not very upset about it. It's not that he's just using Pakistan as a leverage for a trade deal. Right. So he wants to make you believe that he's upset that India hit something in American interest in America. But that is not true. He's just using Pakistan as another tool to leverage what he wants from India in the trade deal. That is all he's looking for. Nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing substantial damage of any American nuclear or something. It's all conspiracy. There is no proof, and it's highly unlikely.
Okay. Amidst all this, I think, interestingly, the Middle East has been very, very quiet. Saudi, the UAE, they have been very, very quiet, and they're probably sitting on the sides and seeing what is happening. What do you think is keeping them generally quiet on this?
See, they have their own set of problems to handle, Nirva. The Middle East is still riled up. The Middle East still doesn't have peace. You still have war going on in Gaza, right? You still have war going on in Lebanon. You still have Syria, which is very, very unstable at the moment. So the Arab countries have their plate full. Why would they be interfering in this kind of thing? I mean, why would they do that? They don't have to say anything about it. When he was dealing with the Saudis, we didn't go and say, what is he doing with the Saudis, right? So I don't think that it matters why they are quiet on this. I think it's absolutely all right for them to be quiet.
Right. How do you see PM Modi's visit to China, the upcoming visit? How do you see that changing the game in terms of US tariff and the whole situation that has evolved in past few days?
See, that is where India is showing itself as an asserting power. PM Modi is putting out a very strong message saying that India will assert itself and watch its interest. Because it is in India's interest to have a working relationship with China. It is in India's interest to, not be hostile to each other. It keeps us in a much better position. It's favorable for us. So that's what I said, this either or, which we see on social media, that Modi ji is going to China just because he wants, now this is going to happen. Things don't work that way, right? Modi ji will go to China. We will still have problems with China. We will still be negotiating with China. Modi ji will go to US. We will still have issues with US, and this thing will keep going on. So, but I think it's a significant visit on the SCO this time. Because there is a lot which needs to be resolved. You have problems in Bangladesh. You have border issues.
Right, which I was coming to the next.
Yeah, so I'll let you ask the question, then I'll go about it.
Right, let me ask itself. So how do you see Bangladesh? It's been 1 year since the regime change operations in Bangladesh. And things have Bangladesh seems to be struggling for its existence itself now. How do you see do you see tensions at border now, with this in keeping in mind that we have state assembly elections in West Bengal next year in less than 12 months, and things are little difficult for Mamata Banerjee as well. Do you see the Bangladesh Bengal border getting little difficult in coming months?
See, it's not only Bangladesh and India border, Bengal border. It is about the whole, you can say, the game which is being played in the eastern front of India, I would call it. It's not only about Bangladesh, it is also about Myanmar, right?
Right.
In Myanmar, what the Americans are trying to do is completely opposite to what the interest of us and the Chinese are. Even we are not very comfortable with that because of that Arakan army and all that nonsense which they are doing, ARSA and all that, not the Arakan army, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah, the Rohingya Salvation Front, which is Arakan Rohingya Salvation Front. So I think that is also a worry for us. The eastern border is going to be extremely disturbed. And you have elections in Bengal. There will be disturbances. There will be disturbances from Bangladesh. There will be disturbance within Bangladesh. There will be disturbances in Myanmar. So there will be disturbances. They'll try to create disturbances in other northeastern states. Right. So this whole region is precarious at the moment. This whole region is brewing at the moment. And when this brewing will become to a point where it will start boiling, we have to see. But yeah, you are absolutely right. During Bengal elections, you will see a lot of problems happening.
Because Bangladesh, one thing I can see is that they're not able to figure out whether to let the Rakhine corridor being as per China, do they want, or the ports. They're not able to decide how much can an interim government can take call. Also is something that is very debatable when it comes to Bangladesh.
See, the problem with Bangladesh today is not about interim government. It's an illegal government.
Right.
It's not an interim government.
Right.
The problem with Bangladesh today is that it doesn't have a functioning government. It's run by the Islamists, right? The problem with Bangladesh today is that they don't know if tomorrow elections will be happening or will not be happening. The Islamists don't want the election to happen. They want to continue this. Now, on Rakhine corridor, the Bangladesh is exactly behaving like a client state, like Pakistan. Because Bangladesh on its own cannot do anything about Rohingyas. It has got about 1 million Rohingyas sitting there. But at the same time, it's allowing the weapons to come in and get them trained. It's allowing ISI to come and train them, right? So Bangladesh is being hostile to India because, of course, those weapons, those trainings are not only going to go into Myanmar. right? They are also going to come towards India. So Bangladesh is a problem for us, and it's a bigger problem for us. And I've always said that Bangladesh is a much bigger problem because with Pakistan, your infiltration is always checked. With Bangladesh, checking infiltration is extremely difficult. So yes, Bangladesh will be a challenge in coming times for the national security of the country.
Okay, I want to know, how do you think the world sees the way Modi has taken a stand when it comes to US tariffs? A couple of things that come off my mind is the first time Trump is announcing 25% hike, Modi ji is issuing a letter which talks about Mango Festival. Okay, that's as if the MEA obviously is issuing the official statements and being very firm that our national interest are first and all. But counterpart, when you talk about Trump tweeting and as compared to what PM Modi has said, he is completely unaffected. Similarly, yesterday when Trump was having a meltdown on his social media, where he's 50% yevo, and PM Modi is tweeting about how he's having a lecture about bio something, and like that's very that shows that the man has a spine. That he's actually, when he says that he'll keep the nation above everything else, he's actually walking the talk. But that we see as Indians, right? That we probably see as someone who supports him and all. But how do you think the world is seeing this step? Because it's a global, global world. So you can't be in an silo, in an isolation. But if India is standing up to a bully like America, how does the world around see India, and how does the world around see Prime Minister Modi's leadership?
See, one thing is for sure, Prime Minister Modi's leadership is not under test because of Trump.
That is correct.
Right? I think Prime Minister Modi has delivered far more than what any other Prime Minister in the country has in the last 10 to 15 years. His image is of a strong man. His image is of a compassionate man, of a man with a lot of empathy, but at the same time with a lot of nerves of steel. And that is what the world will see it as. And the communications have always been different. You have never seen Prime Minister Modi talking directly about things which he's dealing with anywhere in the world, any issue in the world. During the Operation Sindoor, you didn't see Prime Minister tweeting anything about it.
Correct.
Right? So the Indian communication is very diplomatic, very subtle, very different. It's always on the backsides. The American communication has always been what the president says. So it's in their system for the president to come and say what they want to say. But it's in Indian system, the Prime Minister doesn't come and say what is happening and what is not happening. So there are two different sets of communications which are happening there. So whatever has to be conveyed is rightly being conveyed by the
MEA,
right, the External Affairs Ministry. But at the same time, I think Modi ji has spoken today. He has said that personal friendship is not going to compromise the interest of the country. So I think he has made a very, very clear message, saying that the world will also be looking at it, saying that I don't think he is the man who he is, and he has made it very clear that no amount of bullying to India is going to subdue him. So I think the way his image is in the world, I think that image carries on, and that is how they see it.
Right. How do you see Pakistan and China relations going forward in the immediate aftermath of?
They're fine. They are as where they were. There is no change in Pakistan and China relationships. There is absolutely no change. So they are still the way they were. They have their ups, they have their downs. It's a toxic relationship, but the relationship persists, and that is what it is all about.
Right. Okay, one last question. I know you probably won't answer it also, but I still want to ask. Between Trump and Modi, who do you think is on the winning side when it comes to this particular situation?
See, there is no, as I said earlier as well, I told you that there is no clear winner in anything.
Correct.
Trump will claim victory, Prime Minister will also claim victory. But I think what will happen is the way Prime Minister has stood up and the way he is intending to deal with this with a firm hand. I think at the end of the day, the moment Trump bows down from what he has 50% to even 30%, it's a victory for Prime Minister Modi.
Correct.
It's a clear win for him.
On that note, we should talk about this again after the Prime Minister is back from his China trip and after the negotiations with US are over. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nirwa. It's always a pleasure.
All right. On that note, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.